June 18, 2023, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers that are watching this right now. This is the WNBA Lean Show. I'm Brian. I'm on the couch out here, had the AC on in there in the other office, and it's a little too loud. So we're going to do it this way. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you're watching this right now. That way you can get my future NBA leans. I'm going to go over the games today. I'm not going to start off with the Liberty and the Mercury start at 12 Eastern. It's going to be too late for that game. I'm going to go to the other four, give you my quick thoughts. I'm going to tell you a couple of things. First of all, I handicap everything by looking at numbers. So I'm not watching any games. I don't watch any of these games. Don't care. I like watching a good matchup, but just don't care about this. It's really about the numbers. If I read the numbers right, I win. If I read the numbers wrong, I lose. Pretty simple. You get the gist of it. But it's not only what happens in a game that is quantified by numbers, but it's when it happens in a game. That affects everything. So numbers next to numbers create other numbers, and if they're in different areas of the game next to each other, they mean different things. So there's a whole bunch of levels to really handicapping this right. I've been looking at numbers for a long time. WNBA is a little foreign right now. I'm going to go through what I got. I think I got a pretty good play for you today. I'm not on any of these games so far. Let's just keep this in mind. Whatever you hear me say, you do what you want with it. If it works for you, use it. If it doesn't, throw it away. We're good. Doesn't matter, right? Okay, so I'm going to go right into, we got the Liberty and the Mystics and the Chicago Sky battling at 3 Eastern. Mystics right now -5.5. Total is 156. And here's what I saw. I saw interesting. First of all, Chicago Sky struggling to win games right now. Lost against what was it? The Fever in their last game. Let me just bear with me here because I'm gonna just. I looked at all these games twice. But I didn't. I have a different laptop that I look at them. Yeah, they lost to the Fever, 92-90. They played a really good game. Could not hold on late. Come in here limping on 3 straight losses. And the Mystics, on the other hand, are coming in here with. Well, they just beat Phoenix Mercury, but they've won 3 of 4. So they're hosting the Chicago Sky trying to get a victory, and they come in here, and their matchup, it just goes like this. Chicago Sky has covered 5 in a row in this series. 5 in a row. What does that mean? Does that mean, like I told you the other day, remember I told you to look for a reason to back the Lynx against the LA Sparks? And then, then basically the Sparks gave up the game late, and the Lynx did cover. It's tough to go against the Sky in this game plus the points. It really is. But it's been tough for the Sky. So I'm going to lean Mystics minus the 5.5 here. And I think so this total's already 156. I think the total is a little too high. I think this game goes slightly under, if not a lot more, under the total. Now, I've been kind of spotty on totals lately, just being up front with you. I said something was going under the other day. It went way over. So, but I think you could have an undershot on this game. Now, just give you the last 3 of the last 4 have been over. The last game they played, which was May 26th this year, did go under. So I think you might see another under. And as I look at this, I'm just going to look at the previous matchup one more time. Yeah, you might see an under, and I don't see how the Mystics 5.5 is a big number, but because they only won by 2 last time, but I think they do cover that number. That's my lean for this. I probably won't bet the game. Just giving you a heads up on that. Okay, so we got that. Now we're gonna go on to the Fever and the Dream. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a pretty good matchup. Both these teams playing pretty well right now. The total right now is set at 165. Indiana -1.5. Dream coming in, and the Dream coming in playing pretty good. In fact, as of late, the Dream they beat the UConn Sun, who's been hot. They beat them in OT. They beat the New York Liberty in New York. So they've been playing well last couple of games. Fever, on the other hand, Fever coming in, playing well also, right? I just said that. Fever beat the Sky. They hold on late. at Chicago. They beat the Washington Mystics. They beat Minnesota Lynx at Minnesota. They beat Chicago again in Chicago. So they've been playing well. The only game they've lost was by 3 points by the Phoenix Mercury in between the two of those. So let's go to the matchup real quick and look at this before I give you what I think might happen in this game. First of all, the Atlanta Fever and the Sky both been covering spreads pretty well. The last matchup in this game, as a matter of fact, you've had a push on the closing number, of course. Atlanta has covered six of the last 10. You have a push. Indiana covered 3. Indiana covered as a 7-point dog on May 28th. They beat Atlanta Dream at home. They're at home again. Let me pop open this last score. Let me just take a glance at these numbers. I did look at it last night. Just want to refresh my memory. I apologize for that. But yeah, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at, I think the Fever are going to cover this 1.5 at home. I think it's going to be a tight game. These two teams, Atlanta's had their number, so Atlanta is certainly going to play well because they've both been playing well. But I just give the edge to Indiana. I would probably go a money line play if I was going to do this. I wouldn't play the 1.5 because I think it's going to be a close game. I have no play on the total. If I was to venture on the total and just throw a guess at you, just because you're watching, I would say over. But these two are, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. So I wouldn't play the over, but I'm just saying if I was going to do it, I would probably play the over. Okay, UConn Sun going into LA Sparks. Okay, now this is a pretty good game here. LA at home, and the head-to-head in this, UConn has covered 5 in a row. Tough to go against that. UConn actually covered the last one as a 13-point dog, won outright on August 11th of last year, 2022. So the Sparks are having a tough time covering or even winning. Yeah, they haven't won a game. They covered as a dog, but they, oh my God, what am I looking at here? UConn has covered 9 of the last 10. If you looked at this is insane. What do I think is going to happen in this game? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up the last game they played, and I'm going to tell you that UConn won the last game they played in LA, 93-69, as I mentioned. But here's what I would tell you. I would tell you that I wouldn't bet the Sparks in this game, but I will tell you this. I think the Sparks might cover. They're only a 3.5-point dog at home. I'm not going to bet the game because UConn is just on a tear against the Sparks. Sparks are a decent team. They're not bad. They're not great. They got talent. They can win. They didn't win at home last time they played. I got to skip this game. I really do. But let's just, real quick, let me just do one more thing here. I appreciate you bearing with me. So the Sparks lost to the Lynx at home. They were winning, and then they couldn't hold on. Again, we talked about this game. I had the Lynx. I said, look for the Lynx. Look for a way to find the Lynx to win, and they did win the game late. They came out front. But I will tell you, in this particular game where they lost to the Lynx, the Sparks started out pretty well. They just couldn't hold on late. What I would do is this. I would lay off this game. Is what I would do. But if you're an absolute junkie and you're looking into the head-to-head matchup, I can see why you would take the UConn Sun. I personally, whenever I see a pattern like UConn's dominated over the Sparks, and the Sparks catching 3.5 at home after a loss where they were winning in that game, I'm looking for a reason to back the Sparks in this game. I really am. And not only that, but UConn, they beat Atlanta Dream in Atlanta, right? First they beat the Aces. So they lose to the Aces, they beat the Aces at home. They get out of UConn, they go to Atlanta, they beat the Dream 89-77. They come back home, they rip it up again against the Atlanta Dream. They lose that game in overtime. I think that has an effect on this game. I think that the Sparks is the play. If I'm looking at this gun to head, I'm betting the Sparks plus the points. That's what I'm doing. Now, I'm not going to bet the game, but if you're asking me just for your help, that's what I'm doing. I hope this is helping you. I'm going to go this last game, though. So the Minnesota Lynx and the Las Vegas Aces. I'm in Vegas. We're the champions. 17.5. Remember I said this game the other day? I said the Aces were... I was on here the other day. The Aces played the Seattle Storm. They were favored by 18. I said, could they cover? Yeah. Could they win by 30? They could. They win by 33. Okay. All good. If you bet that game, congrats, you won some money. 17.5 point spread here for a reason. But here's what I think. I think this game's close. I think this game's much closer to 17.5. I really do. I think it's closer than 17.5. Now, listen, I've been wrong before. But I think 17.5 is plenty. I think I would take the Minnesota Lynx in this game. I'll look for a reason to back them later. It's early. It's still, 9 o'clock. It's before 9 o'clock in Vegas. No, I'm shooting this video. It's going long. But bottom line is, I look for the reason to take the Minnesota Lynx. They're playing well. They just won on the road. They just beat the Sparks. They do have confidence. In the last matchup, I'm going to give you the last matchup between the Aces and the Lynx. Bear with me. Thanks for watching. Las Vegas. So first of all, Minnesota at home beat Las Vegas by 41 points. Or pardon me, no. By 31. 31. They beat them by 31 in the last game. And Las Vegas at home beat Minnesota by 21. Okay, so there's a real beatdown. So this is why this line's so high. This is why this line's so high, because they both beat each other down at home before. Okay, but they flip-flopped these games. They flip-flopped. Minnesota's covered 5 of the last 10. You've had some unders and some overs, so really can't get a gauge there. I like 17.5 in this game. I'm in Vegas. I like the Lynx plus the 17.5. I think it's a very close game. I think it's close. I think you're getting a close game here. As far as the total is concerned, total right now set at 169. I'll be honest. I think this shades under. I think this shades under 169. I think you're in the 160s, but I think it shades under 169. I think it might get bet up till game time, or it might come down if you have people that are reading the numbers like I am. But bottom line is I like the Lynx. I think the Lynx plus the 17.5 is the best play today, Sunday, Father's Day. I appreciate you watching. If you're still watching, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd like to get more views on my videos, keep my subscriber base going. I hope you enjoyed this.